Enrique.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Kate, you can begin.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. We will call the November 12th, 2021 special session at 3:30 sharp. I'm going to do a roll call of members. Mark Everett,
Present.
Brad Befaro,
I'm here.
Val Ingram,
Here.
Narcy Rodriguez,
Here. Can you hear me, Kate? I have a bad connection.
yes, I can hear you clearly. Thank you. And I'm also present.
Okay.
Is Sonia here today or not?
I'm here.
Okay, nice to have you with us, Sonia. Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any introductions of staff or audience?
John O'Neill, Assistant Superintendent.
Kim Scherer, Director of Student Services.
David Warner, Communications.
Eileen Kloot, Business.
Enrique Piñon, Technology Department.
Kevin Noreen, Human Resources.
Do we have any community? Kathy?
No.
Okay. Approval of today's agenda. Mark? I mean, I guess we need to make a motion. Approval of today's agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
And I'll second it.
All right, thanks, Brad. Discussion? All those in favor? Mark?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Val?
Yes.
Narcy?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. The proposal change for the 2021-22 school year calendar. Dave, you're going to present that?
Yeah, let me get this rolling here. So on Monday, November 8th at the school board meeting, we started a discussion regarding the possibility of changing November 22nd and 23rd from student contact days to teacher prep days. The two teacher prep days would be no student contact. So those would be students at home. This is primarily around teacher workload. I presented some data around that. One of the questions that you had for me on Monday is, what's our feedback from our parents? And then we also pushed out a survey to our staff to get some feedback from them. So with that, I'll go through kind of what we learned. So we launched at 5 p.m. on November 9th, and it closed 2 days later at 6 p.m. We provided the survey in both Spanish and English. It's sent to all district families via email twice. On Thursday morning, we sent out a reminder. In the family survey, we had 2,000 respondents. In the staff survey, we had 510. There was a little bit of information at the beginning, kind of explaining the situation of student contact versus what are some of the challenges that we're having. And then we asked parents some demographic questions. And then a simple question is, do you support the move to, it's actually here. Given the circumstance we find ourselves in and the information above, would you support changing the student contact days to November 22nd, 23rd to teacher preparation? Or would you prefer to have these days remain as student contact days? So we had about 2,000 responses. I'm going to break it out a couple of different ways. This is the sum total here. What we found was basically 65% said that they were okay. I don't know what words to use here, but they said they would choose the teacher prep days. Our staff, I'll break this family one up a little bit more so you can see some of the groups. The total for the staff, given the same basic question, our staff was to be honest, in a pretty similar space. About 71% said change it to the teacher prep. About 28% said no, leave it as student contact. I did one other thing here because of the survey that we sent out was anonymous. And at one point that survey link got pushed up to the Forest Grove community page. So I wanted to see if things changed over time. Like in doing that, were the answers somehow skewed? And so what I did is I graphed the answers each hour. And then later every like 4 hours and then 6 hours. And what you'll see here is in the first hour, basically 68% of the folks said, no, we should leave it, we should change it to teacher prep. In the next hour, there was a slightly lower, but over 60% rate here. This is the lowest bar in the third hour. This was 49% said, no, change it to, and then you can see basically each of the time periods after this, you're seeing that it's staying above 60%. So basically there was a majority of folks, our parents, who are saying, yes, we understand this. The other thing I did, this red line, is the cumulative. So the other was, these were actually the votes in that time period. What this does is it kind of shows you what happened over time. So it's the cumulative number of folks who said, change it to teacher prep. And again, I think what you see here is it kind of just stayed in this 60, there wasn't any large change in any one day. Most of the votes, 1,400 or 1,500 of them, came in these first 5 hours. So the vast majority of votes we got was right at the beginning. But I thought, for me, that helped me understand that, again, we didn't really see a lot of change in what people were preferring over time. Here's our demographics. So we did ask some demographic questions. We had about 64% of our respondents for the parent one were white. About 30% were Hispanic. And then we've got about another 14% that are of another minority. It could be multiple, it could be Asian, it could be a lot of other things. All in all, so our actual white percentage is lower. I want to say that we're probably about 50%, a little over 50% Hispanic right now in our district. So we definitely saw more folks from our white community providing us responses. But what I also did is go through with each of these groups and calculate what they said. And what, again, we saw across these groups is pretty similar answers. Our folks who were free and reduced or marked the box that was, yes, we're part of that group. They were about 389 out of 548 responses, or 71%. For our folks, our special education students, it was about 58% were saying, yeah, change to a teacher prep. Our white parents were about 61%. Hispanic parents were about 77. And if you consider all minorities, it was about 70%. Our actual value was 63%. I can't remember off of that slide right now, but I don't really see any major differences here around this. 58, we're about 3 to 4, 5% away from where the average was. So most of these are falling fairly near the average. And then demographics by school. Again, this came out kind of the way we would have expected, which is the largest section here is for our high school. So the largest number of respondents were coming from the high school. NAMS is the red here. We've got Tom McCall here, which again are larger schools, kind of exactly what I would have expected. And then the rest of these are elementaries, and then also the community school has some responses here. And then just the additional services, 60% of the respondents marked the box, none of the above. And then we had 27% said, marked a box that said, we're free and reduced. English language learners, it was a very small percentage. And then lastly, the special education was about 10.4, which I don't think falls too far. I think we're a little higher than that, but not a whole lot. So with that, this was the meals question, which is if the district were to provide meals for these 2 days, how many of you would participate in that? And there was about 19% of our respondents said that yes, that if meals were available, they would take part in that. And so that's kind of what we learned from our survey data pushing out. Questions that I can answer about that? You're on mute, Kate.
Does the community school follow our school calendar?
I talked with Vanessa, and that's what they are planning on doing, but I need to give her a call after this decision is made for them to kind of finalize their decision. But they would like to, yes.
Again,
You're
in
on
the
mute.
normal year, do they follow the
For the most
calendar?
part, they do. For the most part, they do. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Any other questions for Dave?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment, a couple of comments. And, I'm glad that personally, I'm glad that we didn't take action on this on Monday night. And I'm glad that, we surveyed the community and the staff. So, I'm happy about that. I do have a bit of concern, Dave, because of the hour issue that you mentioned on Monday, and it's November, and we get, this, but we get into the winter time, and any lost instructional time for the rest of the year will have to be made up. Is that correct, Dave?
That is correct.
Okay.
We'll be at the bottom of our hours, and so inclement weather will need to be made up at the end of the year.
Which happens, but normally there's a couple days built into the calendar, but
Right.
we're kind of burning them now. So
Mhm.
okay, yeah. So I'm happy that we did the survey. So those are my comments.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, again, I would like to just echo Mark. I have the same concerns. I'm here recommending this right now, but the idea of losing student contact time is not, I don't like that. Our issue, I think, more just has to do with where we're at in our organization and where our teachers are at. And so that's why we're bringing it forward.
And the sub issue is also, we'll see, it's ongoing, I think. So we'll see how that plays out. But
Agreed. The subs are still going to be an issue going forward. We do have some more, we're still working on trying to improve that situation.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of our focus right now.
Yeah.
You want general
guys.
comments?
Okay, sorry, this is Valerie. I just wanted to say that I don't think that there's a good answer for this agenda item. Our students need the instruction time, but our teachers are burnt out. That being said, I don't feel it's right to push through such a change without sufficient notice. I'm really concerned about our instruction time, our childcare for working parents, and providing food services for our students. I'm also really worried about our sub shortage and the burden it is putting on the staff. And I would also at this point like to request a work session on this specific problem, because we obviously need to brainstorm on how we can provide some relief for the workloads that the teachers and staff are facing right now.
Thank you, Val. Brad, did you want to ask
Yeah,
a question?
I'm going to make the same comment I made almost at the board meeting on Monday night about instruction. I just feel at this point, and I understand the situation in the building and how how tough it is. I'm having a hard time with giving up 2 instructional days out of this calendar as we move, especially this late in the year. This close to the request. So I guess I understand what the adults need, but I'm concerned about what the kids need. And those of you who know me probably knew this was coming and understand where I'm coming from. So that's just my comment.
Thank you. Anyone else? I guess just Narcy and I are left. If there's no more comments, I'm going to make a motion to approve the revised 2021-2022 school calendar as presented, converting November 22nd, 23rd, 2021 from the student contact days to staff prep non-student contact days. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, discussion? I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say yes. And the reason why is I support the decision of the calendar recommended by the district. And I really appreciate also what Mark said is that the survey was really helpful, and it helped me make that decision. And lastly, recognizing that the challenges of opening the school year, you know, from going from 160 students for online instruction, and then that number almost doubled, and all the things that the district staff had to do, you know, and the distancing and the, you know, being safe for COVID, and also understanding the challenges in our families and our students at home, and the challenges are still there, that I think people need a break. I think our teachers need time. Well, there's a lot of students behind, so I'm going to vote yes. Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to vote yes also. And I appreciate the survey, but it's a yes based on the survey, but I am very concerned with what's, you know, the rest of the school year and how that's going to go. So I have concerns about, you know, I have concerns about the teacher shortage, the inclement weather and makeup days and all those things. So, yeah, but I'm a yes.
Narcy? Narcy, are you still with us?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, I lost you guys there for a little bit. Can you just give me what's the people that voted yes for? I lost like the meat of it for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. It is approval of the 21-22 calendar for 2 prep days for the teachers, and students would not be in school at that time, and we would be changing the calendar. Mark voted yes, I voted yes. Do you have any questions for Dave?
How are other board members voting?
Well, Val and Brad have not voted yet, and you?
Yeah, this is a really difficult decision. I mean, I appreciate the data, and I am worried about the kiddos, the children, and the potential weather in the future.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no at this point.
Okay. Val?
Hi there, this is Valerie. I'm going to be voting no for the reasons I stated earlier. I'm very worried about the instruction time. I don't see this as a solution to the main problem that we're facing right now. And I just think at this time of year, it's not the right choice for our students.
Okay, thank you. And Brad?
I'm voting no for the same reason that Val just described. And the main reason is like I've said before, just the instructional time lost and the levels of the amount of time that the kids have missed that instruction time over the last 2 years. So I'm voting no.
Okay, thank you. The motion fails. The vote is 3 noes and 2 yeses. And I don't know if anyone else wants to make any comments. If not, the meeting will close.
Well,
at-
Again,
Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
say, I just appreciate everybody's, this is a tough decision. So
Yeah.
I understand why we ended up where we're at, and I could make the same arguments. So I appreciate everybody coming together and talking this through. So
Yeah, it is a really tough decision.
Right.
It's, you know, I think I could have gone either way.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I really could have. So, and, you know, thank you, the staff, for putting in the time and the survey, and again, the board's thoughtfulness in this process. If there's no other comments or whatever, Mark, did you want to say something or no?
No, I'm.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. All right, I will conclude the meeting at 3:50 PM. Have a good evening.
Okay. Bye, Kate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.